Breaking news. Putin's inner circle is enlisting football hooligans to form a private army. The two countries exchange hundreds of prisoners of war. British intelligence reports that following days of heavy strikes in Ukraine, Russia has utilized a significant proportion of its long-range missile arsenal and, unlike operations last winter, has targeted targets within the defense industry. Ukrainian attack on Russian territory prompts evacuation of 600 people. Ukraine was once again accused by Russia this morning of attacking its southern region of Belgorod with missiles and drones. New information has surfaced, with regional governor Vyacheslav Gladkov stating that 600 people had to leave their homes because of unexploded bombs. According to him, as sappers assessed the risk, 323 homes within a 500-meter radius were evacuated, a power line was severed and fires broke out in multiple communities, according to the governor. Russia reports that 25 people were killed on Saturday in Belgorod, a region bordering Ukraine. The region has been targeted by periodic low-level attacks since the war started. Over the past 24 hours, Russian authorities have reported 1 fatality and 7 injuries in the region. Since the West has made it clear that its long-range missiles cannot be utilized to target Russian territory, the only regions that Kiev's own artillery can be directed towards are border territories. War prisoners from Ukraine let free in exchange for around 200. Russia has reportedly returned around 200 Ukrainian prisoners of war, as reported by Volodymyr Zelensky. "Ours are home," he wrote on Telegram, sharing a video of a few of the liberated individuals with the message. There have been rumors that 248 Russian captives had been repatriated to Russia, and the Russian Defense Ministry has now confirmed these claims. News. Nearly 250 Russian prisoners of war set free by Ukraine, according to the Russian state news agency TASS. The Defense Ministry claimed that Ukraine has released 248 Russian prisoners of war. According to the agency, a complex negotiation process was mediated by the United Arab Emirates. The Russian military would fly them to hospitals so they can get treatment and get back on their feet. It said, typically, prisoner exchanges have been the means by which prisoners have been released during the war. As of this writing, Ukraine has made no statement. Ukraine claims that Putin's party is enlisting football hooligans to form a private army. Ukrainian military intelligence reports that the de facto political party of Vladimir Putin has been enlisting members to fight in the conflict in Ukraine. According to the main Directorate of Intelligence of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, United Russia recruited members of its company from a unit of football hooligans who volunteer with a militant group called the Vostok Battalion. There were allegations that the mercenaries were offered 220,000 rubles per month to fight and meet assaults in Ukraine under the banner of the Española force. According to the intelligence service, the first fight is a one-way ticket for the majority of recruits. Russian recruits are not allowed to take cannon fodder, dead or severely injured, from the battlefield. They are registered as missing in order not to pay the relatives rubles for the breadwinner sent by Moscow to death. In 2012, Putin was a United Russia nominee. In 2018, he switched to an independent campaign. According to Sergei Mironov, leader of a tiny party called A Just Russia, which wanted him as their candidate, he appears to be running as formally independent again this year. However, in March, the president's re-election campaign received the unanimous support of United Russia, a legislative bloc comprising 324 of the 450 seats in the State Duma, using the president's title as our candidate and urging party members to mobilize all activists and supporters in his favor. Dmitry Medvedev, who was designated deputy chairman of the Russian Security Council by Mr. Putin, spoke as party chairman. After Russia inadvertently bombs its own community, 9 houses will need to be renovated. After one of Russia's jets unintentionally hit a town, the governor has ordered the repair of 9 dwellings. According to the Russian state news agency RIA, the Defense Ministry announced yesterday that there was an abnormal discharge of aircraft ammunition over Petropavlovka in the southern province of Voronezh. In addition to the homes, Regional Governor Alexander Gusev reported damage to a school, an arts center, and an administration facility. Not a single resident will be left without help. We will support everyone as much as possible, the governor stated. There were no fatalities, but 4 individuals received medical attention for non-life-threatening injuries. And locals were provided with psychological assistance, he added. He went on to say that a tractor and 5 damaged cars will all get reimbursement. What triggered the tragedy remains unknown according to authorities. Photographs show people in Kiev rummaging through debris to find personal items. There are photos of people in Kiev clearing debris from their homes while snowflakes land on their shoulders. Russia unleashed a barrage of missiles and rockets on the Ukrainian capital and the city of Kharkiv yesterday. Today, photographers from the Associated Press were able to picture individuals removing some of their possessions from the debris. Lyudmila Shevtsova, a professor at Kiev Mohyla Academy, was killed in the bombardment. A photographer was shown photographs of her by her granddaughter Darina. Images showed a man inside an apartment complex removing trash. During the bombing, the window was smashed, doors were ripped off their cupboards, and shelves were ripped from the walls. Residents and volunteers clad with winter gloves and caps scoured the street for debris. Take a moment to meet the American medics who rushed to Ukraine to save the wounded. Reported live by Bishia Patel, as 3 American surgeons ventured across the border from Poland into Ukraine to save the lives of war victims. The most visible evidence of the ongoing battle included bullet holes in gas stations, isolated tanks, and burned houses. On October 13, 3 doctors from University Hospital's Cleveland Medical Center, Kirtishri Mishra, 34, Laura Bukovina, 38, and Shubham Gupta, 40, took a 16-hour flight to the Polish border settlement of Medica, and then crossed into Ukraine on foot. After that, they spent over a day on the road traveling to Lviv, in western Ukraine, to see patients at Urasvit Hospital. The protracted conflict benefits Russia because the Russian military is evading sanctions. This protracted conflict is not in the interests of Ukraine, according to the deputy head of the Ukrainian president's office. According to Ierzovka, Russia has increased its military might, ammo stockpile, and personnel while also developing new missiles and drones by evading sanctions. Following reports that Russia is gearing up for a protracted conflict, his remarks follow those of the UK Defense Ministry. Russian hands benefit from time, Mr. Zovka stated. The history of the Russian Empire tells us they wage war by quantity, rather than by quality. He claimed that over the last 5 days, Russia attacked malls, nurseries, and multi-story buildings with 500 missiles and drones. Rather than military objectives, the Ukrainian official also said that Volodymyr Zelensky had highlighted the likelihood of the UK being more active in the peace formula and had requested further air defense facilities from Rishi Sunak. Polish farmers will once again block the border crossing with Ukraine. Polish state-run news agency PAP reports that today, farmers will restart their blockage at Medica, one of the busiest border crossings with Ukraine. Their demands, which include corn subsidies and the prevention of tax hikes, were temporarily halted on Christmas Eve, but they are now demanding a written guarantee from the Prime Minister that these requests will be fulfilled. Roman Kondro, a leader among the farmers, informed PAP that Prime Minister Donald Tusk had not issued a signed declaration, despite Agricultural Minister Czeslaw Siekierski having sent a message assuring the farmers that their demands would be addressed. Polish truckers are demonstrating at many crossings, further complicating matters. They want the EU to bring back a system where Ukrainian enterprises need permission to operate in the bloc, arguing that Ukrainian goods are unfairly competing. For months following Russia's invasion, on June 29, 2022, the European Union and Kiev inked an agreement that abolished the permission system. As many as 1,000 high-tech air defense missiles will be purchased by NATO members in Europe. Members of NATO in Europe have agreed to purchase up to 1,000 Patriot missiles. Germany, the Netherlands, Romania, and Spain are among the countries that would receive air defense equipment. The agreement has the backing of NATO's procurement arm, the Consolidated Multinational Procurement, in the spirit of the European Sky Shield Initiative, ESSI, offers economies of scale and supports the expansion of production capacity for new GEMT missiles to meet increasing demand, according to NATO. The ESSI allows member states to coordinate the purchase of air and missile defense systems in an effort to reduce overall procurement costs. American multinational corporation Raytheon Technologies developed the Patriot missile system, an acronym for Phased Array Tracking Radar for Intercept on Target, as a transportable surface-to-air weapon system. It ranks high among the United States air defense systems. According to the Research Tank Center for Strategic and International Studies, the cost of a battery of Patriot missiles is $690 million.